Yo, I just wanted to do a quick video. Just got back home. I was going to record something when I was at the grocery store actually, but too busy in there, and I didn't really want anybody being, I guess I could say, nosy. But I wanted to try to do something in a different location, but grocery store probably not the right place. Anyway though, like I said, I just told my mother I was gonna come outside, get a little bit more fresh air and record something out here, because I've been recording stuff in the house so much, and like I said, just needed a change of scenery. But anyway, this video is not supposed to be long. I'm trying not to be long, So first off, what I want to say is that this video is about, people being like sexually assaulted and shit like that. The main reason I want to talk about this is because, like I said, I'm in these groups on Facebook. One of them is called Women Posting Their L's Online. Now, the group in question, there was a post in it that was from this comic, Lunar Baboon. And, yeah, there go the mailman right there. Thought it was him. Anyway, though, so like I said, there was a post in the group that was from this comic called Lunar Baboon. And to set the scene, in the comic, the father that's usually in the comic, was talking to his son and was telling him about, I guess, his sweet moves and how he pulled his mother. So he went over there to give his wife a hug, and, he was like coming in for a hug, and she was like, I'm not in the mood right now, and all of that. And he was like bagging up, And so, pretty much the comic ended with his son, telling him that he really had some game. And of course the people in the group, they were kind of flipping out, and freaking out over it, because they feel like it's some type of feminist thing or something, and think they feel like just because you're married to somebody, that means you should have the right to touch them whenever. Now, don't get me wrong. It's my favorite phrase. Don't get me wrong. When I was younger, I used to think that too, that, if you're married to somebody, and that means that y'all, should be doing whatever, whenever. If you want to give her a kiss, you give her a kiss, blah, blah, blah. But like I told them, because like I said, over the years, I've learned different things, and, and of course, the whole concept of consent, and everything. And I will admit, it is kind of sad that you kind of have to ask for consent to get a hug or something like that. But I mean, it is what it is, Everybody is different. Some women don't require it, some do. Some men don't require it, some do. But, their whole thing is that if you're going to be that way, why even get married? Now, I could say that, that's a good question. Why get married if you're going to be that way? But, I mean, I don't think somebody dealing with trauma or even just being in a mood one day and not wanting to be touched is a reason for them to not get married. Now, I'm kind of back and forth, I guess you could say, on the whole idea of marriage. I mean, in my last relationship, it was something I was totally down for, but after that, and after how that relationship went, I just don't want to try again. And it's not because of her. It's just because I just don't want to go that route again. I mean, outside of what I've said in other videos about wanting to be with her again, if we never get together again, then, so be it. But I just don't feel like, I just don't feel like being in a relationship again. Like I said, outside of her, I really don't feel like being in a relationship again. And I definitely don't feel like going as far as, marriage and shit. But anyway, like they were saying, like as they were saying, because like I said, this dude was, because like what I said to them, well, really what I said in general to the group, my bad. What I said in general to the group, I was like, some days, you just don't want to be bothered. And then, like I told them, I said, knowing women that have been molested and sexually assaulted and stuff like that, it's not a good idea to just go touching them all willy-nilly. I mean, some women are okay with that. But then there are some women who, because of their history and what has gone on with them, the trauma, you have to ask first, or just let them make the move. And that was the only thing I was saying. And of course, I got some pushback on that from a lot of the dudes, mainly white guys. But I got pushback on dudes from that because they feel like, if you've married someone, then you should be able to hug them whenever. And some of them even feel like that if you're married to them, you should be able to fuck them whenever. And that's ridiculous. I mean, I believe that you should be able to fuck whenever, but not fuck them whenever. You get it? It should be something that y'all both agree on. Like if y'all both in the mood right then and there, then of course, go ahead and bang it out. But if just because you horny don't mean that she is, And, it's funny because I used to deny the whole thing of the patriarchy. And I don't even really like to use that phrase, but I do realize that there is a serious problem with a lot of men that believe that they should be able to do whatever, whenever. And I mean, it's stuff I still got to unlearn myself because I can't lie, I still have problems with the fact that you can't even compliment a woman nowadays, And I'm not even talking about catcalling. I'm just talking about just telling a woman, on social media, that you think she's attractive, because some women find it disrespectful, find that it's crossing the line. Some women have even said that it's sexual assault. Now, I think that's a bit of a stretch, but of course, that's just the way things are. But like I said, the whole thing to me is that I feel like we should be more sensitive to the idea, and not just the idea, to the fact that there are women who have been molested and been sexually assaulted. Like somebody recently replied to me in that group and was like, they have a rule that they don't want to date any rape victims. Now, I'm not saying that that is, a horrible thing, because that's their prerogative. If they don't want to date somebody who's a rape victim, then by all means, they don't have to. But the problem comes when people try to force that on you and think that you should think the same way, I just feel like it's all about what you're comfortable with. So if they're not comfortable with doing that, then cool. But they have to understand that if they're not comfortable with doing that, with dating somebody who's been through a type of trauma, then they also need to understand that there are people who are dating people who have that type of trauma, and that those people sometimes might not want to be bothered or touched, or might be kind of afraid at times. Because, I mean, I've seen some women say this on Facebook, that even though they have a boyfriend, what happened to them, the rape, the molestation, even just being beaten by previous boyfriends, has made them kind of closed off to the guys that they're with now. And they have admitted that, their boyfriends are, perfect guys, sweet guys. But because of what somebody else did to them, it makes it hard for them to be, what can I say? It makes them hard to be open and fully complete, And so, I take note of that. Like I said, in one of my videos not too long ago, I was like, that was the main reason I started writing Teal, because I started reading about how many women, especially young women, have been sexually assaulted, have been kidnapped, come up missing, sex trafficking, things like that. And it is way too prevalent, and so much of it goes unreported and unsolved. Like the amount of it that we know about is still alarming. And so you gotta imagine what it's like with that you don't know about, that hasn't been discovered or talked about, So, like I said, my main thing is that, I feel like people should not be so quick to condemn somebody because of the trauma that they've been through, because, like I said, over the years, I've learned a lot of stuff. And to an extent, I can still be an asshole. I can still be a jerk. But if it's one thing I learned from my last relationship, it's empathy. That's one thing I can say that she gave me. She gave me empathy. And it's the main reason why I've changed my views on a lot of stuff. It's the main reason why I am quick to defend those that you consider the underdog. And I mean, I've been an underdog myself, so it was kind of foolish of me to not be a person that sticks up for the little man. And I'm still a little man. But, you know, it was, you know, it's just the way I saw the world at the time. I was very pessimistic, you know. But she was like this light for me. She was really optimistic. And of course, over the years, it's like we switch roles. Because like now, she's a little bit more pessimistic, you know. And as she told me, things have happened. Things have went on. Some stuff that's my fault. Some stuff that happened with other people. So it changed how she is. And I can understand that. Because I mean, the way I was before was because of what I had been through with different people. What I had been through growing up, you know, and even in the years, the formative years, I guess you could say, you know. But I learned how to be a bit of a better person, because I'm still not fully a better person. I still have my days. But I just wanted to talk about that, you know, because I just feel like when it comes to when it comes to, you know, a lot of this sexual assault and stuff, that a lot of men are not, they don't have empathy. That's the way I feel, you know. And this, of course, is just from my perspective, what I've encountered, what I've experienced. This is my judgment on them, you know. But it's just because of the things they have said, the way they act, the attitudes they catch when you say, hey, maybe we should take a step back and think and put ourselves in their shoes, you know, in a woman's shoes. And even with some men. Because, I mean, they were talking about, some of them have mentioned in the group, well, what about the men that have been sexually assaulted? Or what about the men that have been victims of domestic abuse? It's I don't know why. When it comes to some guys, and especially, like I said, white men, it's always a whole bunch of whataboutisms, you know? And then they get upset when people start calling them, you know, misogynist, racist, you know, transphobic, homophobic, all of that. And they don't, like, it's like they can't see the forest for the trees. It's like, you know, dude, you know, somebody trying to tell you what's going on with them, and you sitting up here like, but what about what happened to me? Or what about what happened to the other guys? You know, fuck that right now. Nobody talking about that. And, you know, and I know firsthand, because I'm a type of person that a lot of times when people used to tell me stuff, I would instantly start talking about myself. And sometimes I still do. I have to catch myself. But more so nowadays, I'd say 75% I do more listening, you know, and more observing, you know. So anyway, again, I was supposed to be ending the video at 11 minutes. It's about to be 14, but yeah, you know, that's all I wanted to talk about. And this was just supposed to be like a little quick one. This pretty much is. So until later on or tomorrow, peace.